ಅಲ್ಲಾದ್ರೂ ಆಯ್ತು ಬಂದಿದೆ ಮಿಸ್ಕನ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕಾವೆ ಎಷ್ಟೋ 50
ಮ್ಯಾಗ ಅದ
ಅಷ್ಟು ಇರ್ತಾವ
ಈಗ ಬರ್ತಿರ್ತಾರ್ರಿ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಈ ನೀವು ಬಯೋಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಲಾಗಿನ್ ಆದಿರ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊರಿ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗತ್ರಿ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಬಂದ್ರು ಅಂತ ಬಯೋಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಏನಾರು ತೊಗೊಂಡಿಲ್ಲ.
ಓಕೆ ಮಾಡಿನಿ ಸರಿ. Good afternoon. Hello. Good afternoon. Who is that? May I know your names, please? Yes. Loudly, can you tell me your name? Who is speaking? Where are you? Hello. What is the importance of today's date? Sanjana? What you have contributed, in what way you have contributed for today's environmental day? Anybody? Hello? Mubin, you have joined now. Unmute and tell me how you have contributed for today's environmental day. Are you aware that today is World Environmental Day? Unmute and tell me. Mubin?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Are you aware that what is the importance of today's day? Environmental Day. What you have done today? What way? You have contributed or you are planning to do in the evening at least before the day ends?
I am planning to plant a tree, madam.
When? By evening you will finish that?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you bring some saplings and all, or do you have at your home? Hello, Mubin?
Ma'am?
Yes, do you have saplings at home that you are going to plant?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Anybody else has any other plants, or you have contributed in some or the other way? Have you done anything, any exercise you have contributed to the nature, environment? And all of you, we are facing lot of trouble, we are knowing, so we have to work on that. And tomorrow's, you are the next generation, world is in your hands, so you have to protect and take care of the nature, is it not? So with the note on wishing you all the happy World Environment Day, I start my today's demonstration on the isolation of DNA. So we are going to understand today the importance, why we have to isolate the DNA from the samples like tissues, cells, how it can be isolated and what for it is necessary to isolate the DNA. So this is under your competency 11.16, that is about basic principle, function and application of DNA isolation and purification. So our objectives today are to explain and explain the principle and utility of isolation and quantification of DNA, and actually practically we have to see, observe the isolation and quantification of DNA. This is to be done practically. So we know the significance of DNA. DNA is a genetic material, deoxyribonucleic acid. And when you come across all the functions of the DNA, it carries the information from generation to generation, and that's why in parenting or tests for parenting, this DNA identification is being utilized in the forensic department. Also, DNA fingerprinting to chase the victims at the from the samples obtained from the site of the abuse, or you can say murder or any other mishaps. They have been collected, and that can be any drop of dried blood, semen, hair which is lying there at the spot can be taken, and from that the DNA is isolated, and from that you can trace the victim by matching the DNAs of the culprits, or you can say these suspected culprits. You can match the DNA and you can catch hold of the culprit. So this DNA isolation has got wide range of application. Here, as we are understanding the inventions in the molecular biology, we are going on unwinding the mysteries that are there in the genetic material. So this last 3-4 decades, the work has been most of the scientists, molecular biologists, cell biologists, they are working in the direction of getting completely knowing about the DNA molecule, and that is what it has been successful, and the Human Genome Project has given us the complete information of the DNA, and with that recombinant it was possible with the help of the molecular technologies, basically the recombinant DNA technologies, blotting techniques, all these things has helped us knowing, taking DNA. It can be used like a therapy, that you have come across the term gene therapy, inserting the unknown DNA means taking out the damaged part of the DNA, that is a gene which is defective, and then inserting the correct, or you can say normal gene into the genome, and that can be transmitted via vectors to the deceased persons or the patient, and that has been obtained because we have the information about the DNA molecule. So our aim at this level for you people is to know, at least basically, why this DNA is to be isolated and how this process is being done, and what are the applications of this DNA molecule, that we get it in the purified form, or from that how we can get the information about all the things. So this is the basic behind today's demonstration. So DNA isolation, as you know, is the process of purification of DNA from the sample using the methods like both. It involves the basic principles of physics and chemistry. So it is a combination of the methods that are used or based on physical and chemical methods. In the year 1869, the first DNA isolation was successfully done by the scientist Friedrich Miescher. Methods that are used to isolate DNA are dependent on the source, age, and size of the sample. In general, all the methods aim to separate the DNA present in the nucleus of the cell from other cellular components. So you are aware of the cell environment, what are all the molecules, where their location is there, how they are interacting with each other, all these things you know. So you now think how it will be tedious to take out the DNA molecule which is present in the nucleus from that cell's environment. So this isolation of DNA which is necessary for genetic analysis during the antenatal, prenatal checkups for genetic disorders, and this is used for scientific, medical and forensic purposes. So all these things, DNA, isolated DNA is necessary for the analysis of the samples necessary for scientific, medical and forensic purposes. So scientists use DNA in a number of applications such as introduction of DNA into cells and animals or plants, or for the diagnostic purposes in medicine. The latter application is the most common, and we have to focus on the application of this isolated DNA for treatment of the diseases, that is the diagnostic purposes in medicine. One of the best example I can quote here is of the gene therapy. Next, on the other hand, forensic science needs to recover the DNA for identification of individuals, that is for the examples of rapes, petty thieves, accident or war victims, paternity determination and plant or animal identification. So this isolated DNA has got applications in medicine, forensic science. Also, it can be used for the presence of protein and lipids, polysaccharides and some other organic or inorganic compounds in the DNA preparation can interfere with the DNA analysis method. That we have to take into account, keeping in mind the cell's environment. These may interfere in isolation of the DNA in the purified form. So whatever methods are there, they are going to look into removing these interfering substances so that we get the DNA in the purified form. So these and some other organic and inorganic compounds in the DNA preparation can interfere with DNA analysis method. They can also reduce the quality of DNA, leading to its short life. So keeping in mind the evolution and refinement of genetic engineering techniques, that revolution has revolutionized the molecular medicine, particularly diagnosis of diseases. Some examples that are including of diagnostic purposes: molecular diagnostic of leukemias, congenital disease, and pre-implantation and antenatal period. So all these procedures require relatively pure DNA isolated from blood or cells. Hence, extraction of DNA from cells is the first step in the molecular diagnosis. So the blood is most commonly used sample for isolation of DNA. Remember, the most preferred sample is the fresh blood. So blood isolation of DNA we are trying to understand using the blood sample. So our aim for today's demonstration is to isolate DNA from blood and quantitate it by spectrophotometric measurement. So the methods and the principles. So basic steps in extraction of DNA are, they include these 4 steps. Cell lysis, that is to disrupt the cell membrane, removal of the cellular proteins, next will be the precipitation of DNA with ethanol, and finally we have to quantify it and check its purity. So these are the 4 steps involved in extraction of the DNA. Now these things we will try to see. So, and as I have told, the sample required for this isolation of DNA is freshly collected whole blood sample in EDTA. It can be stored at room temperature. It should be stored at room temperature for short time, and if it is to be used for longer time, then you have to store it as 28 degree, minus 28 degrees centigrade temperature. And for short term, it can be stored at 2 to 8 degrees centigrade. The procedure, details of the procedure. Usually the liquid phases based methods are used where the DNA is separated in one phase and the proteins and lipids in a different phase. So now the basic principle you have to remember here is that the separation of this DNA molecule will be mainly done using the two liquid phases. The one phase will be organic and another will be inorganic phase. So these two phases will help us in the separation of protein lipids from that of the nucleic acid, that is the DNA molecule. So the first here used, there are different methods of using these phases. First one is chloroform phenol extraction method. So this is one of our earliest methods and still it is used in use. Manual method in the laboratories, this is most preferred method. So first the cells are like, this is the procedural details that we are going to understand now. So the cells are lysed with detergents and proteinase K in aqueous solution. Saturated chloroform phenol mixture is added to make biphasic mixture. DNA is present in the aqueous phase and proteins are in the inorganic phase. So there are the two phases, aqueous and organic phase. The DNA in upper supernatant is precipitated with ethanol or isopropanol. After drying, the DNA sample is reconstituted in TRIS-EDTA buffer and assessed for purity and quantity. So this method can extract large amounts of DNA and can be used on a wide range of samples. So this is one of the method for extraction. But the main disadvantage of chloroform phenol extraction is that this is a very lengthy and laborious method and uses toxic chemicals like phenol and chloroform. So it is not preferred. So other method for extraction can be the non-organic phase with salting out. These methods are relatively fast. They use non-toxic chemicals and extracts high quality DNA. So here the cells are, principle behind this extraction is the cells are to be lysed and proteins are denatured with detergents like STS, sodium dodecyl sulfate or Triton-X. RNA is removed by RNases, proteins are precipitated with salt and the DNA is extracted with alcohol. So here protein part is precipitated and DNA is in the alcohol. These are the procedural details and all those things. These are the agents required for that. And the salt which will be preferred is ammonium sulfate and this solvent is ethanol and isopropanol. So first these are the procedural details. For this we have to take the RBC lysis buffer in microcentrifuge, add 150 microliter freshly collected blood in EDTA. Blood should be at room temperature. It is used after 30 minutes after collection. Inverting 10 times. Once you mix these two things, you have to invert the tube for 10 times and then incubate at room temperature for 5 minutes. This will lyse the membrane. Then centrifuge at this RPM rotations. Use available tables for converting, that is technical details while using the centrifuge. Carefully discard the supernatant, leaving WBC pellet with 10 picoliter of liquid. Add 150 picoliter of cell lysis buffer and vertex again for 10 seconds. Next, you have to add ammonium acetate for protein precipitate, and then centrifuge again as in the previous steps to form the protein pellet. Next, these are lengthy steps, you can say, but it is going to give you more purified form of the DNA. So add supernatant containing 300 microliter isopropanol, mix by inverting 40 to 50 times, and all these things you have to do very slowly and carefully. When you do these things, the DNA you will find will be visible as a fine thread or the clump. In the test tube only it can be seen. So then again centrifuge, carefully drain the supernatant onto the absorbent paper. Take care that the pellet remains in the tube. Then you have to add ethanol by inverting several times to wash the DNA pellet. Centrifuge again, drain, and you will, after air drying that pellet for 5 seconds, add the TRIS EDTA buffer and vertex incubate again, and then it will help in getting DNA dissolved. This you have to incubate temperature overnight, determine. So here only you are going to get DNA in the thread-like or clump-like form. Further steps are to solubilize that DNA for further quantification for spectrophotometric analysis and checking the purity of the DNA molecule. This was the second method, that is using non-organic phase with sorting out. Now the next method is extraction of DNA using solid phase silica spin column. So these are the much faster and simpler techniques. DNA can be eluted from the silica. The DNA from blood can be separated within 2 hours. This is based on the principle that nucleic acids will bind to the solid phase like silica under specific conditions. This binding is reversible, so the DNA can then be eluted from the silica. The stages of these methods are lysing the cell like previous only, extraction of DNA by binding the silica to lysate, washing the nucleic acid bound to gel membrane, and finally its elution from the elution of the nucleic acid. After lysis of the cell with suitable solution, the binding isopropanol for lysate is formed by adding ethanol or DNA precipitation. RNase can be used in the initial stage to free the DNA containing lysate from RNA. The binding solution is transferred to a column which is centrifuged. This process is binding solution through the silica gel membrane which is inside the spin column, and that is why the name is DNA using solid phase silica spin column. So the DNA binds to membrane under appropriate conditions of pH and salt concentration. The bound DNA is washed and finally eluted using appropriate buffers and solutions. The DNA is collected from the bottom of the column. This method uses chemotropic agents like geranium hydrochloride that helps in DNA binding to silica membrane. So we can see all these procedures will follow these steps. Lysis, cells lysis using detergent, disrupt the plasma membrane. Cell contents are then treated to protease, destroy protein, and RNAs to destroy RNA. Cell debris is pelleted in centrifugation, the first method you can remember. And then when you get, after all these things, when you add the ethanol, the DNA is precipitated with ethanol. It forms viscous strands that can be spooled on the glass rod. So you can see, once after getting that pellet of the nuclear material and you add the ethanol in that, you can easily see the DNA molecule, and that can be spooled on the glass rod. When you dip a glass rod in the test tube, it will get wound around that glass rod. So now you can imagine and think how it will be to look at the DNA molecule which is being isolated from the sample, blood sample. It is so fascinating to look at that DNA molecule. And once you get this DNA, further it is used for its purity check and quantification. So the precautions that you have to take while isolating the DNA. So this you have to remember that you should not apply the more and more pressure, or there should not be vigorous shaking. This will damage the DNA. So we cannot apply more pressure or stress, that you have to avoid. That will prevent the shearing of the DNA. So no vertex mixing or vigorous pipetting should be done throughout the procedure. All the glassware, plasticware and reagents must be autoclaved before the use. So phenol is corrosive, so it should be handled carefully. That is the first method, phenol isolation method. Apart from that, nowadays most of the laboratories All these are earlier, they used to be the manually prepared reagents, but now most of the laboratories, they are using the kits are being provided by the diagnostic laboratories. So most of the DNA and RNA based molecular diagnostic research work is being done widely using the ready to use kits from various laboratories. So DNA and extraction, RNA extraction is actually done using the kits. So now these kits will be having all these different chemicals, and that can be used for the easy isolation of the DNA molecule. So each kit provides all the reagents and accessories, and the detailed guidelines will be given to follow for the procedural details. These details may vary in kits available from different manufacturing companies. The instructions given by companies are to be followed, or the manufacturers are to be followed. For your information, I would like to share with you that our genetic laboratory is there, where we do this diagnostic, molecular diagnostic is done for the diseases, for the diagnosis of certain cancers or some genetic disorders. You might have visited in the Department of Anatomy, genetic laboratory. There also we are routinely doing this. Yes? Did you visit there? Anybody wants to say? So we are routinely doing in our genetic laboratory this isolation of DNA, and that is being done by the using the kit methods, which are basically on the principles that we have learned now. So all these manufacturer companies will follow the basic principles, and they will make a compact kit for the use of isolation of DNA or RNA extraction. Like that, we are routinely using the kit for DNA and RNA isolations in our genetic laboratory also. Once you come here, you can go and see if you have not yet visited the anatomy genetic laboratory. Okay, now once you have the purified and isolated DNA like this, further we have to quantify, check the purity of this DNA. Now how to check the purity of the DNA? So this purity of the DNA is checked by measuring its absorbance at 260 nanometer, that is the using spectrophotometer, the instrument that is called as spectrophotometer. This is going to give you the ultraviolet range absorbance. So here once you get that DNA, you have to make an accurate dilution of the DNA in distilled water. You mix it well, fill 3/4 of the reference cell of the spectrophotometer with distilled water plus some tris EDTA buffer. Avoid cross contamination and bubble formation in the cells. Similarly, fill the sample cell with diluted DNA. Adjust the spectrophotometer sequentially to measure optical density at 260 nanometer and 280 nanometer. So remember, you have to take absorbance at these two different wavelengths. Note down the optical densities. So routinely we are using colorimeter for the estimation of glucose, urea, like that in the laboratory here. Same way, the same sample is to be diluted, with the distilled water mixed, and that can be used for the absorbance on spectrophotometer, that is in the UV range. So at 260 nanometer and 280 nanometer, you have to measure the this absorbance and note down the optical density values. That will help us in calculating the purity and concentration of the DNA. So how we can do further is observe. You have to note down under observation and calculation optical density of at 260 nanometer, optical density at 280 nanometer. Once you get these two values, further you have to do the quantification. So the calculation will be further. It is done by taking the optical density equal to 1 of the DNA sample concentration is equal to 50 microgram at 260 nanometer, path length 1 centimeter, and so on. So hence the DNA concentration in the sample can be calculated by taking the OD value of the DNA sample and the dilution factor into consideration, and that is usually expressed as microgram or nanogram per ml of the sample. So once, as we have done for our colorimetric analysis, absorb this concentration factor and all we calculate depending on the dilutions of the sample. Same way here also, this we have to DNA concentration in the sample can be calculated by taking the OD value of the DNA and dilution factor into consideration, and that is usually expressed, the unit for expression will be microgram or nanogram per ml of the sample. This is how we can quantitate the DNA molecule. Further, we have to check the purity of the isolated DNA molecule. So for that, you keep in mind that we have taken two optical densities. One is at 280, the other is at 260 nanometer. This optical density at 280 will be due to the proteins present in the sample, and at 260 nanometer it is due to the DNA present in the sample. So hence the ratio of absorbance at 260 nanometer to the absorbance of 280 nanometer will give the indication about the purity of the DNA sample. So ratio of absorber OD at 260 and OD at 280 nanometer will give the purity of the DNA sample, and this ratio of pure DNA sample is 1 is between 1 to 8. So if you get the absorbance in this particular range, that means it is the pure form of the DNA that you have isolated. So further you can note down your results and interpretation about the quality, quantity and purity of the DNA sample. And as we have learned the applications, already I have told in the beginning what for we need to isolate the DNA sample, and that is its application in medicine as well as the forensic, that both you have to remember. So this is all about or isolation, purification, quantification of the DNA molecule in the blood sample. Right? So ultimately we have to lysate DNA. These are the semicolon method, that is second one. So this is another way, and thus you can get the purified DNA molecule. So this is with this note on environmental day, that is not just one day for the environment, but let it be the day one at every step. So let us make a start this world environment day by going the green. So this is all about the demonstration for today's practical. Any doubts, any queries you have, you can ask. So all of you can remember, note down the things, applications, steps, isolation, purification of the DNA sample. Right? Any doubts, anything you want to ask me? All are fine at home, enjoying, relaxing, or studying? Are you studying at home or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Studying. What topics you have done? Arun? Are you able to get what we are teaching? online? Is it of some use? CR is there today? Yes. Are you understanding something?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Who is that? Are you sincerely attending the class or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Anyway.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes. Anything? Any suggestions you want to give so that it can be better for you? How many of you attended last foundation class? How many of you were there? Because you have to note down reflections on that previous ATCOM module class. Okay? Better you can send us the write-ups, any notes, any points you are writing down, reflections. You start practicing that, sending us those points that you are writing, so that we will get through, go through and come to know whether you are getting it or not. Okay. So because situation is uncertain, we don't know what is our next plan, or we can't tell anything when you will be in the campus. We are not sure about that. So let us start practicing writing habit. You have to now think seriously. First IA is over, you have done what you have done, that you also know how you have scored marks, but that is not the only way of examination. Another points are you have to have the writing habit also. So start writing, start sending it to us. We will try to go correct it. And as I have told for vitamins, other topics, pathways, start making flow charts, diagrams, mind maps. That will help you, because for you the time will be very short once you are in the campus. So you have to start seriously about your studies. Okay? Anything else anybody wants to ask? Else I will stop and leave the meeting. Thank you.